Hey guys, it's Kathy. Welcome back. Welcome back, Vibers. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope everybody got to relax and enjoy themselves. But no, it's back to work, guys. It's back to court. We got some jobs to do. I don't exactly know what our jobs are, but we're going to do them. So, we're going to play a game. We're going to play a game for this one. All right? I need you guys to get your bingo cards out. You can pick 5 things. All right? And put them in chat. Put your 5 things in chat. It might be better if you put all 5 things at once in chat instead of everybody chatting one thing at a time. All 6 of us, we might not be able to keep up. More people might come. Oh no, we lost one. All 5 of us. Anyway, I'm going to play a clip, 4 clips from now, and we're going to see who got the closest. No one's going to get bingo, but people might get the closest. And I'll keep reminding everybody after each clip that it's bingo time. So you got to write down 5 things you think this guy's going to say about his life. You know the normal drill. Hi Tina. Hi Sally. Aww. Hi Jane. All right, I'm going to say it again real quick since you guys just got on. Um, we're going to play a game. We're going to do bingo. So I'm going to play a clip. I'm going to play four clips, and then we're going to play our bingo clip. And you guys have to write down 5 things that you think this guy's going to say for bingo. You know, my dog's dying and my grandmother has the flu and lost her leg, whatever you want. 5 things. And we're going to see who gets the closest. Okay. I don't want the chat to get too bunkers. I love talking to you guys. Okay. We're going to go to the first clip now. It's less than a minute long. Nothing happens, but there's 5 squares. The bottom left is the courtroom and where the judge is. So, yeah, that's obvious. So, I just want you to see how beautiful this courtroom is. This courtroom is so beautiful. Here we go.
Mr. Castro, you are intending to admit to the provision of your probation complaint, which states that you did not notify probation of your whereabouts or address. Is that accurate?
Yes, I don't know if he knows that question was directed to him, but that is our intention.
Is that your understanding, sir? Mr. Castro?
Say.
Perfect. All right. Mr. Castro, did you discuss the potential?
So with this ceiling and everything, look at that. Look how pretty that is. How can anything bad happen in there? You know what they really need to do? They need to put some plants in there. They need to put plants all over the place. Oh, Kelly got some good ones, guys. My car broke down. I'm homeless. My mail was lost. Yep, Tina got some good ones. Yes. All right, if you're new, we're playing bingo in 3 clips. In 3 clips. So you have to give me 5 reasons why this guy thinks he shouldn't be in jail. Put it in chat, and we'll see who's the closest. All right. Here we go to the next one. You're gonna love this guy.
How you doing, Your Honor?
Hello, my name is Judge Whitman. I'm with the Kansas City, Kansas Municipal Court.
Okay.
You have some unresolved matters in this court. Possession of marijuana,
I
battery.
can't hear anything here, so let me see if I can figure out why I can't hear Judge. So
I can't hear the judge either, FYI.
speakers,
Hang on just a second.
microphone.
Oh, there she goes. There she goes. I can hear. I can hear you, Your Honor. Oh, there he goes again.
He's having trouble hearing.
Okay, and now I hear you. I see you, Your Honor, but he's trying to make it go back to him. Hey, if I could, ma'am, I'm banned from the KU Med Center, and they forced me to go there against my. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we
And they
can.
forced me to go there against my will. And this is 2 years ago. I bonded out, and nothing ever came about it. I'm a registered offender, and I go to the sheriff's office every month, and they never said anything about it. They never said anything about these charges. And now that I'm here on another matter, they brought them back up. I feel it's a little strange and a little against my rights. On top of everything else, I'm kicked out of KU Med Center, ma'am, and they forced me to go there against my will. And they chained me to a bunk. When I was chained to a bunk, the guy went down on my face with his elbow. I mean, yeah, might have had marijuana, but I mean, I didn't batter anybody. I mean, they battered me, ma'am.
So,
I was
well,
just asking
so
for the
here-
charges to get dismissed and time served if I could.
Hang on.
Okay.
I have appointed counsel for you
Okay,
in
great.
matters here.
Can I talk to him?
His name is Mr. Probst, and he's here, and I
Oh,
can put you in a breakout
yeah, that'd be
so
nice.
that you could discuss the case with him
Well-
on how we're going to proceed.
Well, ma'am, I mean, did you hear everything I had to
Yes.
say?
I did,
Okay.
but I
Yes.
want
Thank
you
you,
to
thank
talk
you.
to him. Most of the
I
cases
appreciate
we
it.
have are probation cases.
I wasn't never on probation for none of these. I swear to God.
All right, I'm gonna have
I
you
go to
talk
the
him.
sheriff's office every month.
Ask the gentleman that gave you the headphones if you could ask him to put you in a breakout,
Put me in a
and
breakout
you
with
can
the.
talk to your attorney
Okay,
privately.
thanks, Your Honor. Appreciate it.
Mr. Probst is having trouble hearing.
No, he's not. He just doesn't want to talk to that guy.
Judge, I can't hear anybody talking. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
I don't know why I can't hear anything, so I need to figure that out.
All right. Dorothy, can you see if someone can go over and help Mr.
I
Probst?
can.
I can't read
Okay.
lips, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, I'm gonna send Dorothy over to help you.
I'm gonna see if
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if Dominic
Look
can
at
go
Shane
help.
and see if he
Okay.
can know what
Dominic,
maybe
can you go
is
over
not
to?
happening here, because my microphone is all the way up. My speakers are all the way up. We will accept the plea offer.
All right. Can you explain what that is?
Judge, the defendant has 3 current cases where he's on probation for that we talked about. He's got 4 active pending cases.
Right.
This defendant's going to plead guilty to the one ending in 6936, battery on a law enforcement officer. He's going to do 60 days in jail. City's going to dismiss the other 3 charges, the 6935, 6937, and 6988. And then he'll do 60 days in jail, no probation, no fines, everything's done. And he gets credit for time served, and he's already done, we think, about 55 days. If he's been in since February 10th, we're about 5 days short of 60 days.
Right. That's what I show on Blue Horse
Okay.
when he went into custody that date. All right. Mr. Adams, you heard
Yep.
what your lawyer said. Is that how you want to resolve this?
Yeah, I just want to resolve it, ma'am, because it's so old. And like I said, I told you before, I really wasn't even supposed to be at KU, but they made me go there. So I'm just gonna throw in the flag and admit to guilt. And I don't want to cause you guys to go through anything. I just,
Well, you're
you know-
not you're not
no, I
causing.
know. I plead
Okay.
guilty and then no contest and then go through with the plea or whatever.
And it's my understanding that because you have an absolute right to a trial, you're giving
ma'am.
up that right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, then I will accept your plea to the 1 count of battery on a law enforcement officer. All the other charges pending will be dismissed, other than I believe there's some payment, and we'll send that over to the jail.
That was supposed to be X'd out too, as far as
Is
I
that-
thought. I didn't know.
Is that
I
the
didn't know.
understanding of the parties?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so then everything's done. You'll have 5 more days on
Yes,
these
ma'am.
charges. You'll get credit for all the time you've served, and then you will have no other obligation to this court.
Right. Okay. That sounds great because I don't want to be obligated to any courts.
All right, all
You
right.
know what I'm
Do you
saying?
have any other questions?
No, ma'am. I
All
appreciate
right.
it.
Well, then this is
All
concluded. You can give your headphones back.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jane, I don't know what KU is. They didn't say, but I think it's a hospital or a doctor's office or a treatment center or something. But so after he gave the headphones back and walked away, the the poor public defender was like, "Whew, he's a talker." It was so funny. Oh man. Okay, in two more clips, we're gonna play bingo, guys. So you have to guess what this guy's gonna say. You gotta put 5 things in chat. What you think this guy's gonna say. You know the drill. You know my dog died and my aunt has diabetes or whatever. And then we'll see who gets the closest. All right, this next clip is only 3 minutes long, so you better think of your things quick. This one's in Florida. We're going down to Florida.
Abide by DCF if DCF. All right, ma'am, your name?
I'm Andrea Hill.
24 402334AO, one kind of battery, domestic violence, reviewed the affidavit. Were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
Yeah, I was going to do it myself, but then I thought I better do a public offender because I do live in West Virginia. We're here on vacation.
Did you say public offender or public defender?
You know, I'm so confused about all this. I don't know.
That's
I
all right.
actually work at a hospital.
Yeah. All right, you have a job?
Yes.
You work at a hospital? How much do you make?
How much do I make? About $50,000 a year.
Do you have any children, any dependents?
I have 2 children. They're grown.
They're grown?
They're grown.
Okay. Any minor dependents or anything like that? 50,000. You don't qualify for the public defender.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I can
Public
talk.
defenders for people that without jobs.
That's fine. I can talk for myself.
Okay.
I'll be fine.
All right. Where in West Virginia do you live?
I'm Charleston.
Okay. I've been through Charleston. State any input with regards to release?
She qualifies for PTR. Your Honor, state has no objection.
And so you're here on vacation? When you going back?
As soon as I can get out of here.
Okay. All right. So if I let you out of jail and I give you a court date to come back, are you going to come back to that court date?
Is there any way that, like, I could FaceTime or something?
I don't know. I'm not your judge. I'm your judge for today, but I'm not the judge on this case. I
Because it
just
would
hang out
really
at the
be
jail
hard for
and
me to
talk to
come
people.
back.
Huh?
It would be hard to come back.
Okay. So that's concerning to us because you're required to come back.
Right.
So should I keep you in here to make sure you come back, or should I let you out and you'll promise to come back?
I'll come back.
Okay. All right. So the state recommends that you post a $5 bond and then be released through the pretrial release program, and that you have no contact, no return to the scene, maintain separate residence, and do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Is that acceptable to you, or is there anything that you want to tell me, anything you think I should consider in determining conditions of your release? But understand that as a defendant, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. Is that acceptable to you, or is there anything you want to tell me?
No, I'm fine.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, can you allow her to return back to West Virginia, please?
Wait, what?
Allow
she
her.
can go back to Charleston, West Virginia.
She ain't coming back. She is. Hi, Kimmy.
Robin?
She is not coming back. I don't know what she did wrong, but in my head it was some Karen episode. And she assaulted someone. Oh, Kimmy got some good ones. My girlfriend is in the hospital. My wife is sick. My cat died. My dog is at the vet. And I have some disease. Most likely, definitely. Okay. We're going to Judge Link Cloud. Those are her bingos. Oh, Kelly, by the way, I met someone who lives in Harris County today, Texas, right near you. Oh, sorry, at my bar in in Pennsylvania. All right, we're gonna go to Judge Link next, and I played him I think one time before, only one time, and he was absolutely amazing. But he hasn't repeated any performances like that since that one day. I mean, he was the best I've ever seen that one day. But he's in Indiana. And just wait, this story just keeps getting better and better.
Indiana versus Scott Jacobin, 46D03-2404 CM 756. Show for the record, Mr. Jacobin appears by video with counsel by video for initial hearing. Mr. Jacobin, did you see and hear the video advisement of your rights?
The thing I played over the speaker, did you hear it?
Yes, I heard it.
Do you understand what your rights are in this case?
Right.
Do you have any questions about your rights today?
I do not, but I can't afford an attorney.
All right, what's your address?
A642 South, 1010 West, Wanata, Indiana, 46390.
Do you have a cell and telephone
My bad.
number?
219-544-1309.
Okay, that's not his real address. Don't worry. It's just not. But I will mute the rest of them.
All right, sir, please listen. Mr. Cardoso is going to advise you of the charge and potential penalties.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's one count alleged in the charging information. It's battery is a Class A misdemeanor. Charge reads, on or about the 3rd day of April 2024 in Port County, Indiana, Scott Jacobin did unlawfully, knowingly, or intentionally touch the person of Jimmy Treadway in a rude, insolent, or angry manner to push him to the ground. And it resulted in bodily injury. That is a Class A misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 1 year in jail and a fine of up to $5,000.
Mr. Jacobin, do you understand the charge and the potential penalties?
Understood.
I'm entering a preliminary plea of not guilty on your behalf to the charge. Ms. Doty, anything on behalf of Mr. Jacobin?
Yes, Your Honor. I spoke to Mr. Jacobin before we began, and I would ask the court to consider him for a release on his own recognizance. I would ask the court that if it's going to consider that maybe a pretrial services supervision level 4 could be amenable to Mr. Jacobin. Mr. Jacobin has lived for about 10 years at the address that is on that pretrial services face sheet, although this arrest likely will disrupt that housing. Mr. Jacobin is not employed and has no financial resources to post a bond on his behalf. He does not receive any type of benefits and has been unemployed since the age of 17. Mr. Jacobin's IRAS score was a 3, and so for those reasons, I would request the court to consider him for a release on his own recognizance. I explained to him what a level 4 supervision would require, and he does think that he could comply with those requirements. So I would ask the court to enter that as an additional condition of his release. That would be all I'd have to add.
Thank you. Anything from the state?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state would ask that a no contact order be a condition of release in favor of Jimmy Treadway.
Thank you. Anything from pretrial?
My only concern is if that no contact order is granted, where he will reside in the alternative.
Ms. Doty, did you have an opportunity to discuss that issue with Mr. Jacobin before court today?
I did, and although Mr. Jacobin doesn't have anywhere that he identified to me specifically that he would go and live, I did ask him if he is familiar with the homeless shelters and services like that, and he said that he is familiar with those services and could avail himself of those.
So Mr. Jacobin, you understand you're not going to be able to go back to 1010 place.
That's correct.
So where are you going to be living?
I could set up my port.
Pardon me?
I could set up with my place in the port
So,
or my place in Union Mills.
so where's your mail going?
I haven't figured that out yet.
Hold on, it gets good. Don't worry.
What's your relationship to Mr. Treadway?
Someone that just happened to start living in my house. I repeatedly have calls going to have him removed from my house. However, nothing's been done ever.
So you own the house at 1010 West Wanata?
Yes, I have had a cop explain to the residents that it's my house, and they said that I had to file a court date to have him evicted again, and I haven't been able to do that at this time.
So the title to that house is in your name?
From what I know, yes.
Pardon me?
From what I know, yes.
What do you mean from what you know?
That's from recollection of an officer.
You've never checked into that?
I don't have the actual title in my possession.
You know, they have it at the recorder's office in LaPorte County.
I checked. They said there was no record of anybody owning the house.
This is right.
According to Beacon, the deeded owner of the home is Jimmy and Sharon Treadway in a joint life estate.
So why do you believe it's your house, Mr. Jacobin?
I gambled with them over through drive-through. They have not processed any identification of them selling the house. It is what it is, though. I'm moving on.
Well, I'm a little confused. Did you buy the house?
Over a gamble, yes.
Over a gamble, what do you mean?
I gambled a vehicle for their house.
You traded the vehicle for their house?
No, I risked selling them a vehicle in turn for their house,
Yep, that's legit.
potentially.
Okay. All right, sir, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance with conditions. First one is you're ordered to participate in pretrial services at a level 4 supervision. Before court today, did you sign the written conditions of pretrial release?
Yes, I did.
Did you read those conditions before you signed the document?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the conditions of pretrial release?
That's correct.
Do you have any questions about those conditions?
No, I do not.
At the bottom of that page is a telephone number for pretrial. I'm ordering that you call pretrial no later than 3 o'clock on Monday, April 8th, 2024, so that you can get signed up for pretrial. They will explain to you the requirements of a level 4 supervision. Please note that pretrial is closed on the weekends. As a condition of your bond or release in this case, I am issuing a no contact order in favor of Jimmy Treadway. You are to have no contact with Mr. Treadway whatsoever, not in person, by letter, telephone, texting, through the use of any app, through the use of a computer, through any social media, through any third party, none whatsoever. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. Can I have documents of that as well?
You will be served with the no contact order. Which is going to be an issue since you don't have a residence. Where are you going to be at to be served at?
What do you mean?
I need a place where you're going to be located, an address where you can be served at, since you're not going to be able to be on the property of 1010 West Wanata.
I don't have an address at this time, but it's located in.
Is it a shelter?
No. Or 5, or in La.
Say that again, 501. That's a LaPorte address.
Right.
trial.
All right, after today's date, your court is going to take place in LaPorte Superior Court number 3. That's located on the second floor of LaPorte Courthouse. That's Judge Thorne's courtroom. Your next court date is May 24th, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. with the omnibus date of June 21st, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. Now, you've requested a public defender. You're in front of Judge Thorne in Superior 3. It's his policy that he wants to evaluate any of his defendants in his courtroom for public defenders. So on May 24th, 2024 at 1:30 p.m., you're ordered to appear in person in court in front of Judge Thorne. And at that time, you can request to see if you qualify for a public defender, as that is Judge Thorne's policy.
Okay.
You have any questions about any of the information I provided to you today?
Not at all.
You understand the no contact order is in effect right now. You're ordered to do that.
That's
whether you have paperwork in your hand or not. You understand that?
Mm-hmm. And then how would I file for a restraining order and then proof of purchase of a house?
I can't advise you on the proof of purchase of the house. You can get documents from the clerk's office in either LaPorte or Michigan City courthouses. Tell them you want to file a protective order and they'll provide you with the paperwork to do that.
Okay.
First, purchase a house.
All right. Do you understand if you fail to contact pretrial by 3 o'clock on Monday, April 8th?
I understand.
You fail to comply with your level 4 supervision or you violate the no contact order, your release in this case can be revoked and a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand that?
Yes.
You gotta let him finish what he's saying before you answer, okay?
You also understand if you violate the no contact order, you could be charged with additional criminal offenses.
Okay. This person has a history of following me, so what if he appears at my workplace?
There's no contact order or restraining order or protective order that I'm aware of against Mr. Treadway. Again, if you feel you need a protective order, you can go to the clerk's office and file for one of those.
I'll go ahead and do that when I have the chance to.
Or just sell him the Big Mac.
You can also talk to your employer if there's anything they can do for you if Mr. Treadway appears at your work. All right, sir, you're excused. Thank you.
All right, sir. This is the phone number with the extension.
Thank you. Have a good day. Good weekend.
First court date is May 24th, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. Your second court date is June 21st, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. Both of these are going to be on the second floor of the LaPorte Courthouse, Superior Court 3.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to take this paper. All three of you guys go ahead and step out, please.
I have a house because I won it in a bet. We were flipping coins and then I got the house. But I don't know why. They never signed it over to me. How dare they? They're rude. And then these people that I don't even know, they just sort of live there now. And I called the police to get them out of my house, but it's not really my house. So they live there. And I can't get them out. And then I don't have money for a lawyer. All right, guys, it's time. The next clip is the bingo guy. So you still have time. Write down 5 things in the chat you think this guy's going to say for his excuses. You know, like my mom's sick and I'm about to lose my house and I start work tomorrow and then I have a job interview in the next day and whatever you want. So put it in now because we're about to play the clip. Let me see what we got so far. So far, we have Tina. My car broke down. I'm homeless. My mail was lost. I've been taking care of sick relatives, and I was in the hospital. Kelly. My mom died. I was sick. I didn't know the date. I'm homeless, and I'm crazy. All of those are probably right so far. Carolyn. It was the mouthwash. Tina. The solar eclipse zapped my phone. Hold on, I'm looking. Oh, Kimmy. My girlfriend's in the hospital. My wife is sick. My cat died. My dog is at the vet. And I have some disease. Ooh. And then Kimmy also said caring for a mom with dementia, which is very difficult. I'm almost at the end, so it's your last chance to press send. Carolyn, my dog bought my house. Jane, I'm traveling. Oh, man. All right, here we go.
Forge, the public defender's office get a chance
It's the guy on the right. It's the guy on the right bending over right now.
to speak with this individual.
Yes, Your Honor, and we will waive advisement.
Thank you. Ms. Geringer.
And Your Honor, Mr. LaForge does have an extensive criminal history. He does have a total of 12 total failures to appear throughout his history. The most recent being in 2017 out of Weld County. In addition, he has had a criminal history that spans quite a few counties in this state, including outside of this district. The people do have some further concerns as well regarding the allegations in the affidavit. These are quite serious allegations, and the alleged amount of substance that was seized is quite substantial. So just based on the allegations in the affidavit and Mr. LaForge's extensive history, the people are requesting a cash or surety bond in the amount of $75,000. There is just quite a concerning amount of fentanyl that was allegedly seized in this case. So that would be the basis for our request.
Thank you. Ms. Anstein.
Thank you, Your Honor. We are asking for a co-signed PR bond or a $1,000 cash or surety in this case. Mr. LaForge is local to northeastern Colorado. He currently resides in Akron with his wife, and the parties do have amongst the two of them 4 children, and they have custody of one of them. So they do have a young child at home. Mr. LaForge also does have a job interview that he's intending to go to. Actually, no, it is a job he's actually starting on Monday. So it's important that he be able to attend to that so he can continue to support his family financially. Mr. LaForge, in this case, I think it is notable he was compliant with law enforcement. He provided information he had to before. Mr. LaForge does have a number of medical conditions as well that I think are relevant in this case. He just was diagnosed earlier this week, actually, that he does have diabetes and he does have an overactive bladder.
That's it. Sorry, guys. Y'all lost. If you did not say overactive bladder on your bingo card, you did not get bingo.
So these things are new to him. It's important for him to actually get these things managed and under control, especially for someone who just discovered that they have diabetes. That is a disease that takes a lot of management, and obviously being in jail while you're there is not going to give one a lot of guidance on how to live with that condition moving forward. Otherwise, Mr. LaForge is, again, incredibly local to northeastern Colorado. He grew up in the Adams County area. His mom and dad live there. He has plenty of siblings in the area as well. The last failure to appear, I believe, was alleged to be in 2017. I don't see any other criminal history since then. It seems that Mr. LaForge, in spite of his prior offenses, has remained law-abiding aside from this instant allegation here. But otherwise, Your Honor, we are asking the court for a co-signed PR bond or a $1,000 cash or surety, considering Mr. LaForge's community ties to the community here and the absence of a criminal record in the recent past. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, I'm issuing a mandatory protection order against you today that requires that you not harass, molest, intimidate, retaliate against, tamper with any witness to or victim of the acts you're charged with committing. Violation of the protection order can result in new criminal charges or contempt of court charges. Obviously, the court is concerned with community safety here. This includes a perhaps the most drugs alleged in any case I've seen, as well as multiple firearms when Mr. LaForge is not permitted to have any. Setting bond at $150,000 cash surety. Compliance with the protection order is a condition of bond. Standard conditions apply. Signed waiver of extradition, no new felonies, no leaving the state without court and surety approval. Update us of address, phone number changes within 1 business day. Sign and acknowledge the protection order, no drugs, no alcohol. Monitored sobriety, it needs to be done via UAs or mouth swabs. Set up with ATC by noon of the business day after release. Next court date is set for the 11th of April, 9:30 a.m. 7 days to apply for the services of the public defender to continue from bonding out. People have 10 days for charges. Talked about the mandatory protection order, bond, conditions of bond, and the next court date. Any questions from the people?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything from the defense?
No, Your Honor, just that we intend to address bond at his next court date, so we are providing the district attorney's office advance notice.
Okay, thank you. I will make sure the record reflects. And we will turn to Mr. Meza Figueroa. Did the public defender's office get a chance to speak with this individual?
Man, that guy's in trouble. He's in trouble. Depends silhouette is good for women. That's a good, in this chat, that's a good tip. I was in the back of a police car today, guys. I was on my way to work, and I got pulled over by the police. And it was this real young, blonde-haired girl. I mean, she was barely older than my kids. And she's like, "Ma'am, can you tell me why your license plate is flagged as not having insurance?" I said, "I have no idea. I got my insurance app on my phone. I opened it up. I said, there's my insurance right there. It's good until June. I always have insurance." She said, "Well, then, can you tell me why it's being flagged as no insurance?" I said, "No, I have no idea. None whatsoever." She says, "Well, I have to call the insurance company to make sure that you have insurance. I can't let you drive away." Well, it's Sunday. It's definitely Sunday. So she tried to call the insurance company, and obviously nobody was there. So she called a tow truck, and they towed my car away. But, I mean, what was really nice is she drove me to work. I was not far away. I work really close to my house. So she just put me in the back of her cruiser. And let me tell you, those seats are hard plastic in the back of a cruiser. I took pictures. I'm like, "Can I take some pictures? Can I take some pictures of this?" She says, "Sure, go ahead. I'm recording you." So I took some pictures and I sent them to my family. I'm like, "I'm in the back of a cop car." And then I had to go get my car. And I'm glad I got it today because it was $225. Wait, $250 today. So it cost me $250 to get it out today. And all they did was tow it like less than 1 mile. And they had it for maybe 3 hours, maybe. And if I would have left it for tomorrow morning, it would have been another $75. $75 every day until you get your car out of there. So now I got to go to PennDOT tomorrow and I got to figure out why it says I don't have insurance when I definitely have insurance. You know how I know I have insurance? Because it's freaking expensive and they keep taking it from my account. No, I'll never get that money back. There's nothing I can do. Nothing. Oh, Nashville. Fletcher, do you sing? All right, we're going to go back to Odin now. I think there's 3 cases here. So if this one is a little long for you, just dip. It was fun. The first one, on the 10th, he has his sentencing. So we don't know what happens today, but we'll know on the 10th. So we can all try to guess. We can all try to guess what the judge is going to do. And out of everything you hear, remember one thing. He's 19 years old. So that's going to play a huge factor, I think. And then the second clip, the guy's just funny. He's old. He's an old man. And he's funny. He demands stuff as soon as he sits down. It is funny. And then the last one, no matter what bad things happen in your life, at least you're not this guy. This guy, man, oh my goodness gracious. Here we go.
Schultz, case number 23 CR 1042. Defendant is present and represented by defense counsel Eric Levy. In a previous state in this court, the state put on the record the offer in this case, which is a plea to counts 3, failure to comply, felony of the 3rd degree, count 4, vehicular assault, felony of the 4th degree, and count 5, vehicular assault, felony of the 4th degree, along with an agreement that the firearm would be forfeited. It's my understanding that the defendant wishes to accept that offer today and plead guilty to those counts.
Mr. Levy?
Thank you, Your Honor. That is our understanding of the plea negotiations. At this time, my client would make a knowing, voluntary, and intelligent withdrawal of his previously entered pleas of not guilty, enter pleas of guilty to the counts as outlined by the state of Ohio. Other than what's been placed on the record, no threats or promises have been made to induce this plea.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Schultz, is that your understanding of the proceeding here today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how old are you? You can stay seated.
I'm 19.
How old?
19 years old.
How far did you go through school?
I graduated in 2023.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, sir.
Prior to coming to court, have you taken any drugs or alcohol or any prescription medication in the last 48 hours?
No, sir.
All right, did you get a copy of this indictment?
Yes, sir.
All right, pursuant to counsel, it's my understanding you're going to plead guilty to count 3, failure to comply with the order or signal of a police officer, a felony 3, count 4, vehicular assault, a felony 4, count 5, vehicular assault, a felony 4, and then the remaining counts will be dismissed at the time of sentencing. And also there's a voluntary forfeiture of the firearm. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Any questions about it?
No, sir.
All right, before I accept your guilty plea, I need to determine that you know and understand the constitutional rights you'll be waiving, the consequences of your guilty plea, and the maximum penalty I could give you, and I need to be satisfied that your guilty plea is being made freely, knowingly, and voluntarily. I'm going to ask you questions. If you don't understand a question or you want some more time to talk to Mr. Levy, let me know and I'll give you more time. You understand that?
Yes.
All right, you have a constitutional right to have a trial, either to me or to a jury of 12 Lake County citizens. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes, sir.
If you go to a jury trial, all 12 members must agree to a guilty verdict before you can be found guilty. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes, sir.
If you go to trial, the prosecutor will call witnesses to testify against you. Do you understand the prosecutor must prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt at a trial?
Yes, sir.
After the witnesses are done testifying for the prosecutor, you have the constitutional right to have your lawyer cross-examine those witnesses. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes, sir.
If you go to trial, you have the right to have witnesses come here and testify for you. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes, sir.
If those witnesses refuse to come to court, I'll issue an order called a subpoena to make them come and testify. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to testify at trial if you want to. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes, sir.
You have the constitutional right to not testify at trial if you do not want to. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes, sir.
If you decide not to testify at trial, nobody is permitted to comment on that decision. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If you go to trial and you're found guilty, you have the right to appeal the guilty finding. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes, sir.
If you file an appeal, you have the constitutional right to have a lawyer represent you in the appeal. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes, sir.
If you could not afford to hire a lawyer, one would be provided at no cost to you. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If you file an appeal, you're entitled to have a transcript of all the hearings in this case. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes, sir.
If you could not afford a copy of those transcripts, they'd be given to you at no cost. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If you plead guilty today, you will not have the right to appeal the guilty finding. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about any of your rights?
No, sir.
Do you still want to plead guilty to these three charges?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand by pleading guilty, you're fully admitting your guilt to the charges?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand by pleading guilty to these felonies, you're voluntarily giving up your freedom for whatever period of time I could sentence you to prison, to jail, or to community control?
Yes, sir.
In count 3, failure to comply with the order or signal of a police officer is a felony 3. It carries a 36-month maximum prison sentence and a $10,000 maximum fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
In count 4, vehicular assault is a felony 4. It carries an 18-month maximum prison sentence and a $5,000 maximum fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And count 5 is vehicular assault, also a felony 4 with an 18-month maximum prison sentence and a $5,000 maximum fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, I could give you a consecutive prison sentence. That means one sentence after another for the separate offenses. If I did that, you face a maximum prison sentence of 72 months and a maximum fine of $20,000. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you are also agreeing to give up the voluntarily forfeit the firearm, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you understand that your conviction in with regard to count 3 carries a mandatory license suspension of between 3 years up to your lifetime? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Also, with regard to counts 4 and 5, if you're given a prison sentence on either count 4 or 5, then that sentence must be consecutive to the, if you're given a prison sentence actually on count 3, then any other prison sentence must be consecutive to that. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Any questions about that?
No, sir.
Okay. Are you presently on post-release control to the Adult Parole Authority?
Yes, sir.
He's on PRC?
I have a personal bond.
Have you been to prison at all?
No.
Okay, then you're not on post-release control, okay?
It's just your bond. If you're reporting to probation here, that's different.
Do you understand your felony conviction will prevent you from owning or possessing a firearm?
Yes, sir.
Now, if a prison sentence is imposed in this case, then you may have to serve a period of post-release control for up to 2 years under the parole authority. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. And if, as part of this recitation or agreement on the facts here, if you acknowledge or agree that your failure to comply was either caused a risk of serious physical harm to persons or physical harm to persons, serious physical harm to persons, then the term of post-release control would be mandatory for 1 year up to 3 years under the parole authority. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
In either case, the parole authority would put conditions on you. If you violate their conditions, they could return you to prison for up to 9 months for each violation, up to 1/2 of my sentence. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If your violation of post-release control is a new felony, then you could get an additional consecutive prison sentence for that violation. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If that were to occur, the maximum prison sentence for the violation would be the greater of 12 months of the time you have left under post-release control. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand if a prison term is imposed, you are eligible for judicial release?
Yes, sir.
I could place you on community control for up to 5 years, but if you violate any conditions, I could send you to prison for 72 months. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, has anybody promised you I would be lenient on you just because you're pleading guilty today?
No, sir.
Has anybody promised you what I will sentence you to in this case?
No, sir.
You understand, at the time of sentencing, I do not have to follow the recommendation of either the prosecutor or your lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Have you had enough time to talk to your counsel before pleading guilty today?
Yes, sir.
Have they discussed everything about your case and answered all of your questions?
Yes, sir.
And are you satisfied with the advice they've given you?
Yes, sir.
Have you been threatened or coerced in any way to plead guilty today?
No, sir.
Are you freely, knowingly, and voluntarily entering your guilty plea?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Ms. Zagretsky, if the case went to trial, what would the evidence show?
The evidence would show that on August 28th of 2023, around approximately 12:49 p.m., the defendant, Elijah Schultz, was driving in the city of Ashtabula in Ashtabula County when Ashtabula city detectives started to pursue him. The defendant drove at high rates of speed through the city of Ashtabula, starting in the area of Adams Avenue and West 58th, reaching speeds of up to 70 miles per hour through residential areas. At one point, the defendant drove onto Seven Hills Road and briefly lost control of his vehicle, but then regained control and continued to flee, making his way to State Route 11. On State Route 11, still in Ashtabula County, the defendant reached speeds of over 100 miles per hour and entered Interstate 90 at those speeds. At that point, Ashtabula City Police terminated the pursuit. A trooper with the Ohio State Highway Patrol heard the pursuit through the radio, was aware of it, and mere minutes later observed the defendant driving on I-90, weaving around vehicles, including by going onto the shoulder of the freeway at high rates of speed. The trooper turned on his lights and sirens and began to pursue the defendant. The defendant then continued to pass vehicles using the left and right shoulders of the freeway and reaching speeds of up to 128 miles per hour. The defendant took the exit for 528 in Lake County, Ohio. He ran the stop sign and collided with the vehicle that Robert Adams was driving and Jane Parsons was a passenger in. The defendant's driving was the proximate cause of serious physical harm to Robert Adams and Jane Parsons. They were hospitalized for their injuries multiple times, both immediately and as their conditions failed to heal properly or worsen. Robert Adams sustained injuries to his chest wall, specifically his ribs, which exacerbated a bronchial condition and then later prevented him from taking deep enough breaths, causing the bronchial condition to develop into pneumonia, for which he had to be hospitalized for again. And Jane Parsons, as a result of the accident, broke a bone and had multiple hematomas, one of which needed surgery down the line and continues to need care months after.
All right, thank you. Mr. Levy, anything to add to those facts?
No, Your Honor, not at this time.
Mr. Schultz, did you hear what Ms. Zagretsky said the facts would show if this case went to a trial?
Yes, sir.
And are those facts true?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, Ms. Zagretsky indicated that as a proximate cause of your violation of the failure to comply, that serious physical injuries were caused to both victims in this case. Is that accurate?
I think at least certainly, Your Honor, a risk of serious physical harm was caused.
To persons?
Yes. To persons, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, then what is your plea to count 3, failure to comply, a felony 3?
Guilty.
What is your plea to vehicular assault and count 4, a felony 4?
Guilty.
And what is your plea to count 5, vehicular assault, a felony 4?
Guilty.
All right, Mr. Levy?
Thank you, Your Honor. May I approach?
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yep.
Bring the court back to written plea of guilty. I witnessed the defendant and his attorney sign, and I'm also signing the witness.
All right, Mr. Schultz, is this your signature on this written plea of guilty?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign it voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And do you want me to accept your written plea of guilty?
Yes, sir.
I'll accept the written plea of guilty. The defendant was present with counsel, advised of all of his rights, made a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary waiver of those rights. He understands the nature of the charge, the consequences of his guilty plea, and the maximum penalty. Find it to be knowing, intelligent, and voluntary. I will accept his plea of guilty. Find him guilty of count 3, failure to comply, a felony 3, count 4, vehicular assault, a felony 4, count 5, vehicular assault, a felony 4. I'm going to refer this for a pre-sentence report and victim impact statements. Sentencing will be May 10th at 2 p.m. and the bond is continued. Anything else, Ms. Zagretsky?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Levy?
Your Honor, would you consider as well a drug and alcohol assessment?
Sure.
You said May 10th at 2?
Yeah, drug and alcohol assessment also. All right, we're adjourned.
All right, now we get to guess what the judge is going to do. I mean, what he did was pretty bad, very bad, but he's 19. But we're going to find out more. So on the 10th, I don't know if you guys have seen my past streams with this judge. This judge really makes the people sit there and squirm and tell him exactly everything. And, you know, he swears at them, he yells at them, he's mean, which is good. He's trying to save their freaking lives. He really is. So we're going to find out on the 10th why this little boy did what he did. Now we go to the our senior.
Sentencing. Case number. We are here on the matter of the state of Ohio versus James Robertson, case number 23, CR 000822. The defendant is present in open court with their attorney, Jim Matthews. We are set today for a change of plea hearing. It is my understanding that the defense will be pleading to count 2 of the indictment. There is no agreement regarding sentencing. However, the state is amenable to whichever sentencing the defense would like to go with. Thank you.
Mr. Matthews?
That is accurate, Your Honor. We are here to do a change of plea. I would ask perhaps at the conclusion of the change of plea if the court could address Mr. Robertson as to his options at sentencing, Your Honor.
Well, why don't we address it now?
Then we can address it right now.
Because Mr. Robertson, Mr. Matthews tells me you want to plead guilty to this, but you don't want to be put on probation, you don't want to go to prison.
Yep, that's exactly what he said to the judge. Listen, I did this, but I don't want no jail time, and I don't want no probation. None.
Right? Okay. What option does that leave me? Help me out here.
Well, as old as I am, give me some work release or something, I mean, you know, something to do. But I'm not up for prison, and honestly, I'm not up for probation, sir. Or fine. Hefty fine.
All right, well, why don't we go through this and we'll talk about it some more as we go through, okay? All right, how old are you?
74, I believe I'll be 75 in September 16th.
All right, how far did you get through school?
Oh, jeez.
Can you tell them to stop the party out there?
7th grade, got a GED, about 18 months.
All right, are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, sir.
Prior to coming here, have you taken any drugs or alcohol or any prescription medication in the last 48 hours?
I take medication
all of them
almost every day.
What do you take?
I can't remember. I'm taking 5 of them. So.
For medical conditions? For medical conditions?
Yes, sir.
All right, does it affect your ability to understand what's going on?
I would say no, but you never know.
All right, did you get a copy of the indictment in this case?
I think I did.
All right, it's my understanding you're gonna plead guilty to count 2, possession of drugs, felony to 5th degree, and the forfeiture specification, is that right?
I didn't hear that about the specification.
You're gonna plead guilty to the forfeiture specification, meaning you're gonna give up whatever is in those drugs, is that right?
Give it up.
You're not gonna get the drugs back.
Oh.
They are being forfeited.
You guys are welcome to them, sir.
Okay, is that what you understand? That's what you're gonna do?
Yes, sir.
All right, now, before I accept the guilty plea, I need to determine that you know and understand the constitutional rights you'll be waiving, the consequences of your guilty plea, and the maximum penalty. And I need to be satisfied that your guilty plea is being made freely, knowingly, and voluntarily. I'm going to ask you questions. If you don't understand the question, or you want to talk to Mr. Matthews some more, let me know, and I'll give you more time. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You have a constitutional right to have a trial, either to me or to a jury of 12 Lake County citizens. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes, sir.
If you go to a jury trial, all 12 members must agree to a guilty verdict before you can be found guilty. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes.
If you go to trial, the prosecutor will call witnesses to testify against you. Do you understand the prosecutor must prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt at a trial?
Yes, sir.
After the witnesses are done testifying for the prosecutor, you have the constitutional right to have your lawyer cross-examine the witnesses. Do you understand that right?
Excuse me. Yes, sir.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes.
If you go to trial, you have the right to have witnesses come here and testify for you. Do you understand that right?
Yes.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes.
If those witnesses refuse to come to court, I'll issue an order called a subpoena to make them come and testify. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you waiving that right? You have the right to testify at trial if you want to. Do you understand that right?
Yes.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes, sir.
You have the constitutional right to not testify at trial if you do not want to. Do you understand that right?
Yes.
Are you waiving that right? If you decide not to testify at trial, nobody is permitted to comment on that decision. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you go to trial and you're found guilty, you have the right to appeal the guilty finding. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you waiving that right? If you file an appeal, you have the constitutional right to have a lawyer represent you in the appeal. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes.
If you could not afford to hire a lawyer, one would be provided at no cost. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you file an appeal, you're entitled to have a transcript of all the hearings in this case. Do you understand that right?
Yes.
And are you waiving that right?
Yes, sir.
If you couldn't afford a copy, they'd be given to you at no cost. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If you plead guilty today, you cannot appeal the guilty finding. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Any question about any of your rights?
Yes, sir.
Do you still want to plead guilty to this charge?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand by pleading guilty, you're fully admitting your guilt to the charge?
Yes.
And you understand with this guilty plea that I could sentence you to prison, to jail, or to community control? All right, this is a felony of the 5th degree. That means there's a 12-month maximum prison sentence and a $2,500 maximum fine. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And by pleading guilty to the forfeiture specification, you're giving up the drugs listed. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand you could get a driver's license suspension between 6 months and 5 years?
Yes.
You understand you cannot own a firearm with this felony conviction?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are you on probation anywhere right now?
No. No, sir.
Were you on probation in Chardon?
No.
Okay. When's the last time you've been on probation, do you think?
About 25 years ago, I guess.
Okay. Do you understand if a prison term is imposed, you are eligible for judicial release?
You said judicial release.
Release.
Oh, that's without with provisions.
If I send you to prison, I could let you out early and put you on probation. You understand that?
Yes.
All right. I could put you on community control for up to 5 years, but if you violate, I could put you in prison for 12 months. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Did anybody promise you what I would do when I sentence you in this case?
No, sir.
Now, when I sentence you, whether it's today or another time, Mr. Knopf can make a recommendation, Mr. Matthews can make a recommendation. You understand I don't have to follow either of those.
Yes, sir.
You had enough time to talk to Mr. Matthews before pleading guilty today?
Yes, I
Did
am.
he fully discuss your case?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with his advice?
Yes, sir.
All right. Have you been threatened or coerced in any way to plead guilty today? Is it your decision? You are freely making this decision, knowingly and voluntarily making this decision? Any questions at this point?
No.
All right, Mr. Knopf, if the case went to trial, what would the evidence show?
Thank you, Your Honor. Had the case proceeded to trial, the state would have shown that on or about July 20th, 2023 in Lake County, Ohio, the defendant was in possession of drugs. Specifically, the defendant was pulled over on Northridge Road in Perry. A search of that vehicle. During the search of that vehicle, officers discovered a cigarette pack with a powdery substance inside. That powdery substance was sent to the crime lab, confirmed to be fentanyl mixed with xylazine. Additionally, Your Honor, there is a prior, Mr. Robertson has a prior from Cuyahoga County, case number CR 93-29-5464, which enhances the possession of the xylazine to a felony of the 5th degree. Thank you.
What is it otherwise?
It would be a misdemeanor without the prior.
So that was a separate substance from the fentanyl?
It was a mixture. It was a compound, a mixture of fentanyl.
So you had one thing that consisted, it was fentanyl and xylazine?
Yes, inside of the powder. Like the powder was a mixture of fentanyl and xylazine.
Isn't xylazine the newest, most dangerous thing out there?
It's pretty dangerous, Your Honor. It causes flesh to be sort of eaten alive, if you will, but it's a very dangerous drug. Yes.
All right, Mr. Matthews, anything to add to that?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Robertson, did you hear what he said? Mr. Knopf, what the facts would show if the case went to trial?
Yeah, I do.
Are those facts true?
I don't know anything about this first possession that he's talking about.
The xylazine?
No, I mean that particular incident. Period. I got locked up, I believe, for I can't quite remember. It's been a while, but it wasn't a drug charge that I knew of.
The entire
I was giving a
indictment.
guy a ride.
So, giving a guy a ride?
Yeah, that's how this thing came about. I didn't have a drug case. Nobody kicked my door in for drugs.
No. No one kicked your door in. You were in the van with a female, I believe it was your daughter. And a
This
dog.
particular incident, yes, but
Well, that's what we're here for.
Well, did you just read off something about a prior from down?
No. That makes the case a felony instead of a misdemeanor.
Oh,
Because you had that prior.
Okay, I misunderstood that. I apologize.
Okay. So any other question about those facts? Are those facts true?
Yes, sir.
All right, then what's your plea to count two, possession of drugs, a felony 5?
I'm guilty.
And what's your plea to that specification with the drugs?
Guilty also.
Thank you, Your Honor. Friday here tonight.
Jesus Christ. Go ahead.
With Mr. Robertson, he indicated he understood it and he intended to sign it.
Is that right, Mr. Robertson?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you want to plead guilty, then you got to sign that.
Okay. Put the date on that line.
This is 22, right?
4/1/24. Yeah. Oh,
Your Honor, I have a witness, the defense, Mr. Matthews, and the defendant signed the plea paperwork in open court. I'm now signing it myself. And with your permission, I will approach and deliver the plea paperwork.
Okay, Mr. Robertson, did you sign this written plea of guilty?
Yes, sir.
And did you do that voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
All right, you want me to accept that plea?
Yes.
All right, I'll accept the written plea of guilty. Defendant was present. Mr. Matthews advised of his rights, made a knowing, intelligent, voluntary waiver. He understands the nature of the charge and consequence of his guilty plea and the maximum penalty. Find it to be knowing, intelligent, and voluntary. I will accept your plea of guilty and find you guilty of possession of drugs of felony 5 and the spec. I'm going to send you over to the probation department for an investigation. Pre-sentence investigation, and I'm not gonna sentence you today. I'm gonna sentence you May 15th at 1:30, and the bond is continued. So I'm gonna have you go over there now and talk to the probation officer. Anything else, Mr. Knopf?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Matthews?
Didn't know if, Mr. Robertson, they are going to do a drug screen. Is there any chance you may test positive for any marijuana?
No, I don't smoke anything like that. It's okay possibility I could be tested and come up with anything.
All right, we're adjourned.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
So now we're going to roll into the last one, and this is a sentencing. So the first two were just the pleas, so we don't know what's going to happen yet. This guy's getting sentenced today.
State of Ohio versus Azell Fuller, case number 23 CR 001404. The defendant is present in open court with their attorney, Conchetta Rogazione. We are set today for a sentencing hearing. On February 12th, the defendant pled guilty by way of information to 1 count of aggravated robbery with the stipulation that a firearm was used in the commission of the offense. As part of the plea deal, the state dismissed the gun specification. Since then, a pre-sentence report and drug and alcohol assessment has been completed and reviewed. There is a joint recommendation for community control. Due to the seriousness of the offense, though, the state would feel that's appropriate that he does serve 180 days in jail with credit for 51 days, a probation period of 5 years, and also the jail treatment program. Thank you.
Mr. Rogazione?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'm also asking this court to find Mr. Fuller amenable to community control sanctions in this matter. He is very young. He's 18 years old. As the court is aware, this case was found over from the juvenile court. He does have 2 prior juvenile adjudications on his record, but he does not have a lengthy history with the juvenile court. He did not receive a lot of services from the juvenile court during his time on probation with them. He is very remorseful about this situation. The way he expressed it in the pre-sentence report, he recognizes that it was a very dumb decision. He recognizes there could have been a lot more serious consequences, and he is apologetic to the victims in this case. I would ask the court to take all of that into account and to find him amenable to community control sanctions. He recognizes there is a need for consequences. He is prepared to follow any and all orders that this court would make if he is placed on community control. Thank you.
All right, what do you want to tell me, Mr. Fuller?
I just want to say that there's consequences for every action somebody does. Like, you know, I apologize to my community, my family, everybody, this courtroom for the decision I did. You know, I just want to say I'm sorry. It's a lot of stuff that could have happened. It's a lot of stuff that could have happened with this stuff. I'm just scared, you know. I just feel like prison or jail time shouldn't be like a consequence for this, but I just want to get this over with. I just want to move on so I can better myself.
You don't think prison should be a consequence for this?
I mean, well, prison, yeah, because like I'm just scared. You know, I'm scared to go to prison and stuff. You know, I've never been there. I don't want to live there. I don't want treatment there.
So tell me what happened with this whole thing.
So just one day, this kid, you know, I met from juvenile.
Who?
I really ain't meet him.
Who?
His name was Gavin.
Okay.
I really don't know too much about him. I just know of him from the juvenile. You know, he found me on Snap. I added him back one day.
Found you what?
On Snapchat. It's a social media website.
Oh, Jesus.
People go on and communicate on. He asked me one day if I wanted to buy some carts off him. I told him I'd get paid because I was working at the time. But then I ended up quitting from that job. But I ain't had no money, knowing I had no money. So he asked me if I wanted to buy any cartridges and stuff like that. So one day I hit him up and said, yeah. I was seeing if I can get a front from him. But he tried to overthrow the price on me. You know.
Where'd he get him from?
Where did he get him from?
Uh-huh.
I don't know too much about that.
What do you mean he tried to overcharge you for?
Like, at first we came to an agreement like to pay $100 for some carts, and then he just
for how many?
Probably like 10, and then I got in the car, and we had he came to another agreement like he about to charge me $300 for 10. So I was like, no, I'm not about to pay you $300 for no cartridges. So then I just pulled my gun out and robbed him for the carts, and I ain't really had no intentions of robbing them.
Wait a minute. So you robbed a guy who knew you.
Yeah, but I really didn't want. I ain't had the intention to rob, but he came with some other people. He came with some other people. One person was in the front seat with a ski mask on. I didn't get to see him. I thought they were really trying to get off on me, trying to rob me and stuff. So I was just feeling iffy about the whole situation.
Did you have a ski mask on?
Huh?
Did you have a ski mask on?
No, I had no ski mask on.
Okay.
So yeah, I was just feeling iffy about the situation, and then that's when I heard the price. So I was like, no. He gave me a few of the carts already in my hand, so I already have possession of a few of them. And then I just told him to give me the rest of them. I pulled the gun out, just told him to give me the rest of them. I ain't pointing at nobody or nothing. I just pulled it out. Told him to give me the rest of them.
And then where'd you go?
I hid from them because they were trying to search for me for 10.
Who was trying to search for you?
Him
The car?
and his friends trying to search me. Then I ended up leaving. After I seen the situation was clear, ended up leaving and going back to the house I was going back to.
Which was where?
In East Lake.
Huh?
In East Lake.
Whose house was that?
Girlfriend's.
Where were you living at the time?
Well, I was really just living with them, but I was supposed to be living with my mom, but she kicked me
Where?
out. In Painesville.
But she kicked you out?
Yeah, she kicked me out.
Why?
Because she didn't want me to be there anymore. Me and her would argue, fight, and yeah.
So where you been living now?
Everywhere. I've been bouncing around. It's been hard for me to find places to stay, feed myself, and yeah.
Where'd you stay last night?
Last night I stayed with my family member cousin. They took me in. Yeah.
Where at?
Painesville.
Okay. Who else lives with your mom?
My siblings, my father, and that's about it. My younger siblings.
Seen Ernest at all lately?
Ernest.
Your half-brother?
Father, half-brother. No, I haven't seen him. Last time I probably saw him was a month and a half ago. I don't know.
You got an assault in juvenile court about 3 years ago. What was that all about?
They locked me in a room in school, so I was just kind of like panicking because they locked me in the room because
Who locked you in a room?
staff members at Harvey High School.
Okay. And so what happened?
So I tried to get out the room because I figured out they locked me in the room, and then because at first I was just doing my work, and then another student that I was friends with, he was in it was an IP class we were in, and he was in the other hall going crazy over there. So they locked me in the room thinking, because they thought I was gonna do the same thing, but I was doing my work. So then next thing you know, I'm telling them like, let me out. Like I'm like panicking, having a panic attack. They wouldn't let me out the room, so I just started getting real upset. And then eventually when they came out, let me out, I just started tweaking, like just tripping, like for no reason, and just going off because I just felt like I was just being closed in and just locked in the room. Felt like I couldn't do nothing, so I was just going crazy. And then they let me out, and then we're just fighting them in the hallways and stuff. They were trying to grab
who?
me. Teachers and stuff. They were trying to restrain me and do a whole bunch of other stuff, trying to put me back in the room. And I wasn't I was just forcing my way out into the hallway so I wouldn't be locked in the room. And I pushed one of them, and then that's how I got the assault.
Why'd they lock you in the room?
Upstairs in Harvey in one of the IEP classrooms. I don't know. There's like another extra room, but nobody goes.
Why did they lock you in the room?
Because my friend, he was doing something. They was trying to get him under control, but I was trying to tell them like, just let me out. I wasn't about to do anything. Like I can go somewhere else, be put somewhere else instead of in this classroom, because I felt like I was just panicking. I was just panicking a lot in the classroom, being locked in.
What was the carrying concealed weapon all about?
Because somebody from when I went to school one day, somebody had thought mistakenly I was somebody, and they had pulled a gun out on me over there by CVS. I was going to school over there, across the street from CVS at alternative school. Somebody pulled a gun out on me. So me being young at the time, thinking like I should give me a gun. That's why I got a gun.
So you got that charge?
Yeah.
You had 2 violations with that charge, right?
Yeah.
So you got this one when you were still a juvenile, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so where'd that gun come from?
Well, in this case, came from a friend. He gave it to me. He just gave it to me, yeah.
Just gave it to you?
Yeah, he gave it to me so I could have one. I asked him for it. He gave it to me. It was really his. I just borrowed it.
What'd you borrow it for?
Like, he just said I could have it eventually. Like, I was just, I don't know why I had one at the point. I really didn't need one. I just had one.
Where's the last place you worked?
KFC. That was September of 2023.
For how long did you work there?
A year and a half.
What were you doing there?
Cooking, dishes, cleaning up. Yeah.
How much were they paying you?
$13 an hour.
Okay. How many hours a week were you working usually?
Probably, say 5 days a week.
So, what's going to happen to you?
Excuse me, like what you mean?
What I mean is, what's going to happen to you?
Like if I leave from here, like in the future, I just want to better myself as a person.
How are you going to do that?
By stop associating myself around people I don't need to be around. Stop doing the drugs everybody else do. Just stop following people. Just live up to my expectations in life. Just try to better myself in many ways, emotionally, physically, mentally, and That's all I want to do. Just trying to get better and move on from this situation and better myself and grow up and become the man that I'm supposed to be. And just prove. I just really want to prove everybody wrong. My family, because I really don't have the support or anything from nobody.
When's the last time that you had any communication with your father?
My father, probably like a week ago.
What's he doing?
Working PCC airfoils.
What about your mother?
My mother work at PCC airfoils as well, and she's a aide for old people. She goes to like old people houses and take care of them and stuff. She's an aide.
What kind of work you plan on doing?
I plan on getting a PCC as well because my aunt works there as well too. My aunt, my uncle, they work at the one in East Lake. I try to have my father and my mother get me into there, but they ain't never want to help me. They always tell me like I can get the extra support from them and it'll be easier for me to get a job, but they ain't want to help me do it that way. So my aunt said she'll do it for me. I can work with them in the one in East Lake. Her and my uncle and my cousin works there as well. Their son. And
who's your aunt?
My aunt is Kiana Badley. Her name's Kiana Badley. She's like 39, 38, around that age somewhere. And yeah, she works.
Why don't your mother or father want to help you?
One, me and my mom don't always come into like the right agreement on things. I feel like she just feel like I rebel a lot with a lot of things, but I feel like that's not why. She just don't never want to hear my side on stuff, and she always like wants me like to follow her and her way, and I just ain't like how her way was. And because when I was younger, she was like always like putting her hands on me and stuff. So I always just try to avoid staying from at her house. I ain't never like being at her house. My dad was in prison at the time too. You know, me and her was just fighting, arguing a lot, and I ran away. That's why I started staying with my cousin on Owego Street off of Prospect. Started staying with them, and they took me in and stuff, and they told me I could stay there whenever I need to because they knew my little situation I had going on. But my dad, he just really don't want to make my mother mad, so he just stays on her side with things. He talks to me here and there, but he's on her side with like a lot of things, and he just don't want to make her mad because he knows that she'll yell, scream at him too, so he tries to stay out of it.
What are your siblings doing?
Siblings, all of them work. I got an older brother that work at Avery Dennison. Got an older brother that work at Red Lobster. And
I see one that's 16, one that's 13, and one that's 10.
Yeah, and I got a younger sibling that work at Red Lobster. He's 16, and then I got my little brother. He's in school. My youngest little brother. He's in school. My little sister. She's in school too.
What about Trayvon and Audrey?
Trayvon work at Avery Dennison, and Audrey works at Red Lobster.
Okay. What do they do at Avery Dennison?
Trayvon, I don't know what he do. I ain't never asked him. I barely see my.
What does Avery Dennison do? What do they make?
I don't know, but I know it's a factory job. I don't know what they make, but I don't never see my brother to ask him like what does he do or anything. So I'm not too much familiar with that.
Did you ever get a driver's license?
I got my temps right now.
When did you get those?
Back in September.
When do you have to take the test?
No, actually August, my bad. But I take the test whenever I can and have the time to. I have to schedule it.
When did you stop working at KFC?
Because they let me go because I have this going on right now, and I was back and forth in and out of jail a lot, so they try to for the violations at the juvenile, like I was like, this was last year, so I caught a violation, I got out, and they told me that just because they knew I had court coming back up for this case, they told me that they were just gonna let me go, and when all of this stuff is over with, just come back. But I'm still in the system at KFC.
What's the penalty for a felony 1?
Penalty, 3-5 years. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that either as much. I don't know the penalty.
You know, in the next 30 seconds, I could send you to prison for between 11 and 16 and a half years.
Yeah, I understand.
So you get out of prison when you're in your 30s. You got 2 felony convictions before you were 18, the 3rd felony committed before you were 18. And this one's a felony 1.
I understand, and I try to move on from the past. I feel like I couldn't, because like the stuff was going on at home and stuff, you know. Like I was too busy wandering around trying to figure out where I'm gonna sleep at. So I was just in the streets a lot, and I tried a lot to fix myself, and I want to fix myself, and those 2 felonies.
You know, I know your brother Ernest very well. Did you know I know your brother Ernest?
Yeah, I know.
I've been dealing with Ernest for the last 7-8 years. Okay. And 7 or 8 years ago, Ernest is saying the same thing to me that you're telling me now.
Yeah, but my brother, he has stuff going on as well, but I don't really get in contact with him. I don't see him. I see him probably like once a month. I don't see him. I don't hear from him. I don't talk to him. My dad don't even talk to him around me. And I know we have the same last name, and
Why do you think I'm telling you that?
Because you telling me this because you could give me that chance, but I could come back again. You see me again, and it just keep happening, where you give me chances, and you telling me this right now because my brother, that's my brother, and I could possibly do the same thing he did.
Well, I'm telling you that because Ernest had a your father didn't do him any favors either. Growing up. And his mother certainly didn't do him any favors. The only thing she ever did was steal from him. Okay? But Ernest was telling me the same things you're telling me. Because Ernest wanted to get out of this rat trap he was in. And for a little while he did, but ultimately he didn't. Okay? And I haven't seen him for a few months now. So you wanting to get out of the rut you're in and getting out of it are 2 different things. It ain't just going to happen magically. Because your problem right now is worse than Ernest's problem. Because you got 2 felonies and now a felony 1. Now, they all want me to put you on probation because of your age. and somewhat because of the circumstances of this offense, but it's still a felony 1. So every time you come back to court, in another court, or in this court, or in another court in another county, first thing that gets looked at is, what do you think?
Felony 1.
Your record. It's the first thing that gets looked at. And the only way that's ever going to change is if you build up some credibility by getting your shit together and doing what you're supposed to do. Because in the short span of your young life, you picked up 3 felonies. Very short span. So, you know, you tell me about, and I don't think you're putting a lot of thought into this. I don't think you're putting much thought at all into this whole situation, okay? Because when do you turn 19? Or are you 19 now?
No, I turn 19 next month.
Okay. You're 19. And it appears that you've gotten no help or guidance from either of your parents. That's the way it appears to me. So when I asked you what you wanted to do, you want to go work for PCC. You don't even know what PCC does. You don't know how much they pay. You don't know how you can advance. You got to think beyond like what you're going to do today and tomorrow, or else you'll just end up treading water. Now, what kind of drugs you used in your life?
Marijuana.
And when's the last time you used that?
Months ago, 4, possibly.
You used it while this case was going on, right?
Huh?
Did you use it while this case was going on?
Yes.
Okay. Why did you do that if you had this case going on?
Stress.
Huh?
Stress.
Okay. So, what was the stress? That you had a criminal case?
Yeah, on top of that, and being just not being around my family, you know.
Huh?
Just trying to find a stable spot to live for myself.
Okay. And once again, your parents aren't helping you out with that, right?
No.
Okay. My strong belief is they're never going to help you out with that. So you get along with your aunt?
Yeah, my aunt, my uncle, and my cousins I'm staying with right now.
Okay. So what does the pot do for you?
Excuse me?
What does the pot do for you?
The pot?
Yeah.
To keep me calm, you know, but I used it other times too where I was just doing stupid stuff.
Okay.
And I knew that I wasn't supposed to be doing it. I still did. I'm around it a lot, so it was hard for me. That's another reason to stop doing it, because I was around it a lot.
Around it where? With your friends?
No, just family members do it. Everybody, just whoever I'm around, do it.
I don't know. I've spent a lot of time here, and I'm having trouble thinking of all the real successful pot smokers in life. Most of them are drifting through, not accomplishing much. That's probably not the thing to do to make you successful. Because you're sitting here in the next decade, a decade and a half, of your life depends on what I tell you. Right?
Right.
So is it a good idea for you or anybody else to have somebody else decide where they're gonna be for the next decade or decade and a half?
Could you say that again, please?
I said, is it a good idea for you to sit there and let somebody else like me decide where you're gonna be for the next 10 to 15 years?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so when will you stop placing yourself in that spot?
Right now.
Huh?
Right now.
Right now. What'd you spend in jail on this case? 51 days, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was it over here or over in juvenile?
In Lake County.
Okay, so what was that like?
Hard.
Huh?
Hard.
What'd you do?
Just working out, just praying a lot, going to Bible study, playing basketball. That's about it.
Would you rather be in there or would you rather be out there?
Out in
Out
the
free.
world. Free.
Walking out the door.
Free.
Okay. Why?
So I can have time to get myself together and actually move past from this stuff,
So the question is, when you get out there, are you going to stop doing all the stupid shit that puts you in there?
Yes.
I don't know. Are you?
Yes.
I guess that depends how much you want to stay out of that place, right?
Right.
Anything else you want to say?
No, Your Honor.
If I may, Your Honor, I would just like to point out that I think Mr. Fuller has given this situation a lot of thought. He did indicate in his pre-sentence report that he is terrified of going to prison. He does understand that that is what he is facing here. He is very sorry not only to the community, but also to the victims. And I also would like to say, I think it is very unfortunate that he hasn't had much support from his family, but he is very young and it seems like he's impressionable, and that the guidance of the adult probation department could be beneficial to helping him get on and stay on the right track if this court would give him that opportunity.
These carts that you were getting, what were those?
Like vapes, like THC cartridges, like vapes. Like
THC.
You put them like on this like battery and you smoke them and it get you high.
What do you smoke it for?
Smoke it for, like I said, just stress, like
To get high.
Yeah, to get high.
So the THC and your stupidity got you here, right? It was all over this marijuana crap, right?
Yes.
Another marijuana success story. Just because your family members smoke it and your friends smoke it doesn't mean you should smoke it. It's no excuse. Unless you like this. You like this?
No.
Okay. Mr. Knopf?
Again, Your Honor, the state would just ask for the community control with 180 days in Lake County Jail, 5 years probation. And that's because it was a serious offense. I think Mr. Fuller should at least have one more opportunity due to his age. I would hope it's clear to him now that this is not the juvenile court anymore. This is the adult court, and the consequences are a lot more serious than I've dealt with him in the past.
All right, so one of the big problems is now is that you're running around with guns twice now. Right?
Right.
I mean, you're not allowed to have one, but you're doing it anyway. So you don't seem to like, you didn't seem to like to listen to the judge who was across the street on your first two things, right?
Right.
And so now you're over here. So what makes me think that you're gonna listen if I put you on probation to whatever terms I give you? Why would I believe that you're gonna listen to me when you didn't listen over there?
Well, I'll say I'm gonna have to follow up. It's just I got to, cause it's just my life is on the line with this. Like, can't control what happens with none of this, but I know that I can.
You can't control what?
Just,
what I'm gonna do?
Yeah, I can't control that, but I know that I can turn things around and get myself together, my mindset together, on how I think things, react to things. I know I could do a lot of stuff just to stay on the right path.
Well, it depends if you want to, right?
Right.
You hear that? What's that?
Clock.
Bless you. We just sat in silence for 60 seconds. Did that seem like a long time to you?
Yes.
Uncomfortable long time, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay. How uncomfortable does 11 to 15 years sound?
Really uncomfortable.
Really uncomfortable. So are you ever going to stop wasting your time?
Yes.
Another minute off your life. Are you ever going to stop wasting your time?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report and the drug and alcohol evaluation. I read the victim impact statement, such that it is. considered all the applicable statutes for whatever those are worth. And I note in the drug and alcohol evaluation that while you were using marijuana, you were using 2 to 3 blunts a day. Is that right?
Yep.
I bet you made great use of that time while you were high. Wasted time. I'm going to adopt the joint recommendation. I'm going to place you on community control for 5 years. You're going to serve 100 days in the jail with credit for 51. The last 30 days, you're going to be in a jail treatment program, and you're going to follow all those recommendations. You're also going to complete the decision points program. Follow all those recommendations. You're going to get a mental health evaluation. Follow all those recommendations. You're to have no drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. Maintain and obtain full employment. Get a valid driver's license. And pay the costs and supervision fees. Ms. Knaus, any other terms?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You understand the terms?
Yes, Your Honor.
You haven't? Oh, I'm sorry. No contact with the victims in this case at all, any of them. Or don't have anybody else get in contact with them. You know why that is?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. The reason is that you held them up. So they're probably a little scared of you coming back with a gun. Okay? That's one reason. The second reason is you associate yourself with people who are doing something illegal, then you're going to be in the box again. So no contact with any of the 3 of them. Or anybody else they know, or don't have anybody get in contact with them. Got it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any questions about any of these terms?
No, Your Honor.
If you fail to comply with the terms, then the state's going to file a motion to terminate your community control. And if I find you violated, then I'll terminate you, and you face 11 to 16 and a half years in prison on this case. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And I don't know that I've ever seen a recommendation coming from the state on a felony 1 that's been probation, ever. So if you go to prison as a result of this, then when you get out of prison, you'll be put on post-release control for 5 years under the parole authority. Then you'll have to listen to them as to what, if you don't listen to them either, then they could send you right back to prison for 9 months for each of your violations, up to 1/2 of my sentence. So another 5.5 years. If your violation is a new felony, then in addition to getting prosecuted for that new felony, you could get another prison sentence, which would be consecutive to that one for that violation. And that sentence would be either 12 months or the time you have left under post-release control, whichever is more. So you're either going to get your act together, starting before, a couple weeks before, a month before your 19th birthday, or you risk going to prison till you're 35 or 40. So you figure out which way you want to live, okay? Hasn't worked out so well for your father because he's been in and out, right?
Right.
Okay. I'm sure you know a bunch of people out there that have been to prison. Doesn't seem like a good option, but you figure out how you want to live your life, because ultimately it's up to you. There's no excuses anymore. Anything else, Mr. Knopf?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Gazione?
I would just ask that bond be released.
It's released. All right,
Nothing
we're
further.
adjourned.
Thank you.
Well, listen, no matter how bad your day is today, you're not him. You're not him. I mean, I don't see him having any chance whatsoever. I mean, maybe for a while, because this was intense. For an 18-year-old, this was intense. So, maybe for a while. But, I don't know, how if he's going to make it, Just don't know. The judge knows the whole family. He's got stepbrothers and stepsisters that the judge knows more about than he does. Yeah, I hope he gets the help he needs. So there's one shining silver lining in this. They are going to put him on adult supervision. And he is going to jail right now, and they have resources in the jail. And, adult supervision, I guess you get out what you put into it. Like, they're going to tell him things that he has to do. But, if he tries what they say, if he works with them, then, maybe he has a chance. I don't know. I just don't know. And I really should never end on a case like this. But don't worry, because courts are opening in 30 minutes, and I don't know why, but I am so excited about this week. I think we're going to have some good stuff this week. I just know it. So, I'm getting hyped, getting ready to sniff out the good stuff through all these freaking links. I hope I don't miss any sov sits. We have not had a sov sit in so long on this channel. It's like, all we're catching is catfish and no bass. We need a nice sov sit. And I don't even know if I'll be able to handle it if the sov sit is in Fleischer's courtroom. I don't even know if I'll be able to handle myself. My hands will be shaking while I press record because I'll be so excited. Maybe. Keep your fingers crossed, guys. That's all we want. Kelly's in Texas. Okay, I know you're not in Harris County, but you're in Texas, so you're close enough. Texas is tiny. You're there. Why don't you be a sov sit and go into Harris's court for us, so that we can have a sov sit Judge Fleischer clip? I think it's worth it. Take one for the team, Kelly. Oh man, chat was great today, you guys. Watch your eyes, okay? Don't hurt your eyes with this eclipse. Make those little box things like you did in kindergarten. And B24, I hope you have a good day. Texas Vernon, I hope you have a good day. Ms. Glow, I hope you have a good day. Are you in Travis County? That's close enough. Hi, Stink Eye. Thanks. Thank you. Alright, I'm going to go set my stuff up, guys. Thanks for coming out. I will see you again soon. Thanks for all the new people in chat today. You guys are awesome. Yes, yes, Carolyn, your state is bigger than Texas, but you can't say that out loud. Hey, Jim's here. Carolyn, people in Texas get really, really upset when people say that anything is bigger than what they have. Yeah. So all you Texas people, she didn't mean it. She didn't. Even though it's true.